tonight. Let's see. And Lisa.
Yes.
And so, how do you feel about that, Stephanie? They're going to be taking a seat on the board. We don't actually start the meeting until after we do the swearing in.
I'm comfortable with it after talking to Kathy. I think we're fine.
Okay. All righty. Well, with that, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. And we have 10 people so far. That's almost twice as many as we have had. Okay. Roll call of office. The flag salute is next. Okay. I have the flag here. Okay.
I'm standing.
All righty? Ready? I pledge allegiance to the
flag
of the United
States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go Trump.
Okay. Now, Laura, I take it you got those sheets that I sent to you?
I am prepared with the oath. I got it from the county clerk, and I'm ready to go when you are. What will happen then at that point, each individual board member will need to sign their oath, and I will make arrangements with you, Bill, to maybe meet you in Mojave or something. I need to physically pick those up from you because I then need to sign them and get them to the clerk of the board.
Understood. We have a couple of things that need to happen also. I will take these documents to them for their signature tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
At their various places. Dennis Schaffner's sheet, though, has an incorrect name.
Yeah, there's no C in Schaffner.
Okay. So I'll have Kathy correct that for you, and we'll get you a new sheet to sign.
Okay.
You want me to go ahead and take it, Bill?
Yes, ma'am. You have the
Okay. Okay, so if the 3 new board members can please raise their right hand. And I can see you, so don't try to cheat. We do solemnly swear that we will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that we will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that we take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and we will faithfully discharge the duties upon which we have entered. Please say I do.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, you may all be seated.
No chair.
He's faking, Dennis.
Okay, the agenda went out a couple of weeks ago and was also recently published on the Rmac Facebook page. I take it everyone has had an opportunity to look at the agenda, and if they have, we'd like someone to make a motion and someone to second.
I'll motion it.
Okay.
Lisa, I'll second the motion to adopt the agenda.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Already approved minutes. We do not have minutes per se. We have the video record, which was posted on YouTube as well as the Rmac page on Facebook. Have you had an opportunity to read those minutes from November of this year, of last year?
I think I was absent for that one.
As was I.
Okay. Is there anyone that has seen it? Okay, we will just carry that then. We have to figure out a way of getting that done. Okay. Community leader reports. Kern County Sheriff's Office. We don't have anyone. I believe Lieutenant Kraft, you're with California Highway Patrol, right?
No, he's with the Sheriff's Department, Bill.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Lieutenant Kraft, do you have some information for us?
Where'd he go?
I don't know. We heard him a second ago.
It looks like
You see his name down
yeah, he's still shown on the board.
Doesn't look muted.
Okay, we'll come back to him in a few minutes. And
there.
California Highway Patrol.
Lieutenant Kraft, you there?
Okay, next one, California Highway Patrol. They did invite John Williams, but they did not get a response. So, okay. California Assembly Representative, no one. Okay, the floor is yours again, Laura, to talk about District 2 matters.
That circled back quick. Well, Lieutenant Kraft is texting me. I'm sorry. He's going to try to get back on. He's going to try to come back. I asked Lieutenant Kraft to log into this meeting tonight. He is the new lieutenant for all of East Kern for the Kern County Sheriff's Department. So he will be the supervisor for all of the deputies and sergeants that work out of the Rosamond office. So I thought it was important that you guys meet him and get to know him. He's very proactive, he's very conscientious, and I think we'll be pleased with what he brings to the table for all of our communities in East Kern. So hopefully we get him back. He's going to try to log back in. District 2, we've been extremely busy due to COVID-19. We had the Kern Recovers program and gave probably close to $30 million in grants to small businesses throughout Kern County. We gave away just thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer, thousands of masks, and all the PPE equipment that businesses may need to continue to operate. So they're doing everything they can to support Kern economy, but still, operate within the restrictions that have come to us from the state of California. And those restrictions, it's hard to follow. They change rapidly, they change daily. So it's a big task to try to keep up with that. So that's taken a lot of time and a lot of resources from the county. The vaccine, as you know, the vaccine rolled out, and some of the healthcare workers and now open to 65 and over are starting to get their vaccines. Right now, currently, and thank you to Lisa because she brought something to my attention a couple of days ago. Right now for East Kern, Tehachapi Hospital and Ridgecrest Hospital are the only 2 vaccine sites. The health department was aware of that once I made contact with them, and they're working on trying to open it up to East Kern more rapidly. The plan or thought process is going to be every location that was a testing site transfer into a vaccine site. that means we'll have locations in Rosamond, Mojave, Boron, and open it up so it's easily accessible to Eastern Kern residents. Staffing is just an issue. Staff is down with COVID, or they're just not able to travel or make the trek to East Kern. So that's been a challenge. The logistics of the vaccine are a challenge. There's only so many vaccines that come from the state health department to the county health department. They have to be handled in a very specific manner. They can't rest overnight. So each vaccine that is received has to be administered immediately. It can't sit. So, and then after someone has a vaccine administered, they have to be monitored for 15 minutes after. So it's a little time consuming, and it's not as rapid as running the drive-through testing sites that we've seen. So we're working on some things like that. We're working with Adventist Health. One of the programs that we're trying to implement, thank goodness we have Kern County full of wonderful people that want to volunteer and want to help, but they're not necessarily medically trained. So we're working with some of the Rotaries, clubs and organizations throughout East Kern to maybe give rides to seniors that want the vaccine but don't drive anymore. Going to their home, picking them up, getting them to the vaccine site, and driving them home. Things like that are in the works. So we're moving as fast as we can and doing the best we can with it. I will keep you guys posted as those new locations come on board. I'll make sure it's on social media and the publicity gets out there so the residents are aware. Looking forward to 2021. There's a lot of changes with regards to alternative energy, solar, wind, things like that are coming from the state, and they are changing rapidly. So Supervisor Scribner has a study group looking into some of those changes and trying to reevaluate how some of those plants or solar farms and wind farms and things like that are taxed, so that the county starts to benefit and the communities that are impacted start to benefit a little bit more than they have in the past. So I'll keep you guys posted with that as well. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me right now, but really that's my report for tonight.
Laura, it's Lieutenant Kraft. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you. Is it okay, Bill, if Lieutenant Kraft goes ahead and goes back to his
report?
report?
Go ahead and put him right into the queue here.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, guys, I apologize for my technical difficulty here. These computers are a bit outdated, but I am able to hear you guys and watch you guys. I think we're going through the same issues as everybody else is in the county. We've got several deputies out on we've got a term we call it COVID leave. Like maternity leave, it's COVID leave. And it doesn't necessarily mean they had COVID. The exposure, I know it's the same stuff is going on in the private sector as well. We've got deputies just out, just falling left and right that have to quarantine for so many days, just like everywhere else. And we're bringing deputies from Bakersfield to fill our staffing. But we're doing what we can with what we have. Was there anything specific you guys wanted to know about?
It's typically what we have gotten in the past is just something regarding conditions in the Rosamond area and stuff like that, and the surrounding community. As far as any reporting and stuff like that you guys have to make, any reports you may have taken or anything.
Calls for service.
Calls for service, arrests, break them up, kind of, if you can.
Sure. I don't have all of my every stat right here in front of me. That's nobody's fault but mine. I will be prepared for the next one. I do have one case that's kind of caught my attention because it's not a normal case that happened about a week ago. I'm not sure if Roseman residents are aware. We put out. I did not put out a press release. We only had one inquiry on it, and it was from a media outlet from Los Angeles County. But it was a 36-year-old female, and I have to be careful with what's released because there's a juvenile involved that was arrested on right a week ago on January 14th, and deputies were dispatched to a domestic disturbance between her and her husband, and during the investigation, they found out that the female orally copulated a 14-year-old boy, and that is what the domestic disturbance was about. She was arrested on 2 charges, 2 sex crime-related charges, oral copulation by a person over 21, and unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. As far as I know, as of yesterday, she was still in custody unless she posts bail. That was one that caught a little bit of attention. I'm not sure if that's what you were looking for. I don't have all the stats, but that was one that I got a lot of questions about. I can't really answer a whole lot more than that, but that is something that was going on, and that was in Rosemond a week ago.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Kraft. The one thing I guess that everyone is aware of is the body that turned up on the access road.
Okay.
Adjacent to the 14 freeway.
Yes.
I haven't heard a whole lot, and I'm assuming the investigation is still ongoing.
Yes, it absolutely is, but that is one I'm familiar with. I did get the notifications on each one of those. We did get several requests about that from the media outlets, and everyone is trying to associate that with the Cal City missing boys. Talking with the detectives, as of now, there is nothing indicating that it is related to them. I can't rule out that it was a juvenile that was in there, but from the detectives, they are saying that there's nothing indicating that it is, and I just have to trust their judgment on that. The bones and the remains that were found were sent over to the lab, and that can take several months to identify. So that's where we're at with that. There was 2 different bags of remains found in the area, but I can't really elaborate much more than that.
That's fine. We understand how that works.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't have. It's not like I have this whole big narrative of information. It was really just a couple bags that were found with a couple different body parts in it. But nothing indicating, and I have to only believe that they looked down every avenue to try to associate it with the missing boys from Cal City, but it doesn't sound like that's what it's going to be. And we don't have any other indication as to who it is or identifying the remains, anything like that. At some point, once they get identified, we'll put out a press release and it'll be known.
Okay. Well, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Lieutenant Kraft?
Lieutenant Kraft, if I may, this is Laura Lynn with Supervisor Scribner's office. Unfortunately, Donna Morris lost her connection, but she called me a couple of different times this week asking, and that's one of the reasons I reached out to you and I wanted you to be part of this meeting. She's asking if there's anything that you can tell them about the activity and the pot and marijuana shops being open in Roseman. Other communities, they seem to have been able to shut them down, and the ones in Roseman continue to operate. That was the first status update that she was looking for. And then also something that was interesting that I didn't understand the answer to is if there's a landlord or the owner of a building, is there any repercussions for that landlord if they knowingly lease to a pot shop knowing it's an illegal operation?
Yeah, as far as the marijuana shops, I have been directed to direct all those inquiries to our Kern County Code Enforcement, and I'm not sure how proactive they have been with them, because I know we've reached out to them for a few other issues we've had out in the east area, And I know they don't have a whole lot of staffing out east, and it does seem to get neglected because they have most of their work goes to Bakersfield. What we have done on our end is we've been directed to keep, all of the deputies have been directed to keep statistics on any of the shops that we get called to for a crime. Like, we're not enforcing the permits of the marijuana shops and the taxes and things like that. However, if there are crimes going on and we can keep track of those, then we can keep track of them and have an argument to assist code enforcement with that stuff. But we don't enforce them opening up and shutting down. That's a code enforcement thing. Like I said, we will keep track of any crimes that go on there. For a while, I know there was a rash of violent crimes, robberies, things like that. I haven't heard of any of those lately, but I know in general they are just a nuisance. The community hates them. But I would just hope that once we get our staffing up and we can get code compliance a little more involved, we have no problem working with them to enforce whatever rules we need to.
For you, how many calls do you actually get to the pot shops for crimes committed? Is that often?
Yeah, we haven't had any recently that I'm aware of. I work. My shift is during the day, but anything how our department works is I work during the day, except for occasional times when I have to stay a little later. But so I hear the radio and I hear if there's any calls dispatched over there. I have not heard any in probably at least a couple months before. But if there are any, perhaps when I'm off, whenever, if there's any sort of significant event, a robbery, somebody gets a fight with injuries, that's going to be entered into our log. And I monitor that every day, and we have not had anything over there recently. The last one I could think of is a few months back when there was a fight over at one of them. I can't even recall which one it is, but I know we are keeping stats of those, and I can bring those to our next meeting.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anything else for Lieutenant Kraft? Hearing nothing, thank you very much, Lieutenant Kraft, for spending some time with us this evening. And we hope that you're a regular at our monthly meetings.
Absolutely. If not me, so we will do our best to make sure somebody's there.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yay. Moving on, Rosamond Community Services District, Greg Wood. I did extend an invitation out to Greg Wood to come talk to us about the Rosamond Foundation. He indicated that they had not made their assignments under their new board yet, so he didn't know who would be the Rmac representatives. So he said he would let that person know, but obviously we didn't get anything back from you. Okay. Rosamond Chamber of Commerce, Jack Miller.
Good evening. Let's see here. Let's adjust a little bit there. We had our meeting today. We do a noon Zoom meeting during the day. It seems to be a little better for the business activity than in the evenings. But not a lot going on with the chamber. We did have a campaign for sponsorships to help remodel the chamber. This is a good time, especially with COVID, because can't operate business being open right now anyway. And we had the water damage, but we raised $7,100 so far from BHE Renewables, S Power, and EDF Renewables. They contributed as sponsors towards the remodel of the chamber. We haven't decided exactly how the remodel is going to go yet. We want to kind of modernize it, kind of in line with the event center, so that it's attractive, more inviting. and a little more up to standard for business standards. So it'll be a complete interior remodel, redesign, and should be attractive. But we're still in the process of raising funds for that remodel, and so as far as the event center itself goes, we do have 2 of the grants completed, of course. We have the windows and doors were completed in the chamber building itself. As far as the sidewalks at the chamber, we do have the sidewalk grant completed, but we're still looking for another grant because with the increased costs of cement and supplies and so forth, we were able to get the 2 sidewalks in. We was able to get the foundation in for the green room storage room. We still got to find some revenue for the on the north side of the event center behind the chamber. There will be a kind of a rest area pad. Then there'll be a pad for porta potties on for events, and then behind that, towards the fence, will be another pad that will have a barbecue area for various events and stuff. We can do barbecue. So, either the next grant cycle or when we can acquire funds, we will continue with that portion. As far as the main part, we just got to finish the canopy, and then we're going to finish the solar grant. Gene Melcher is working on the requirement solar, and he also drafting up the building plans for the green room / storage room, and so we'll have to have extra funds for that eventually too, which would not qualify in grants. So that'd be separate funds altogether. So, other than that, I think that's pretty much all the information I can think of. Anybody have any questions?
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Well, I would assume, Jack, that y'all are looking ahead toward, so September and then the Christmas parade time to, in hopes that at that point we'll be somewhat back to normal. Are you even discussing that?
Well, it's all depending on where the COVID's going to go. I mean,
yeah, I understand that it all depends on.
We're looking into that. But as far as the Christmas parade itself, that's not done by the chamber.
No, I got that. Okay. So, but the September thing, the September Fest and the Armed Forces Appreciation Day parade is. So right. Are you going ahead with planning on those in hopes that...
We will plan for that, yes.
So you haven't started yet?
No. Yeah, we were still trying to get a feel as to what direction the all the COVID activity is going to go, if the requirement's going to lift. And, of course, that depends on vaccinations roll out. So until we see something normalized in that respect, we're
but you can't wait till the last minute to plan either.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Well, we will still plan, but it'd be contingent on.
Of course it will. I think we all understand that everything's contingent upon, just like everything else in the free world is.
Yeah.
But my hope is that you'll go ahead and plan as if it was going to happen, and then
we have every
spring loaded. Should it open up?
Every intention of doing that. It's just a matter of we got January right now, but we're hoping by March we'll full swing on planning that, and hopefully things will slow down on the COVID. But no, we've already discussed it.
Anything else, Dennis?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Jack. Southern Kern Unified School District, Mario Gutierrez is not here tonight, and didn't get a response back from the school admin there, so we'll try again for next month to get them here.
I spoke with him earlier today.
What's that?
I spoke with him earlier today. He said there was no changes, nothing new to report.
Okay. Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Antelope Valley Citizens for Responsible Use of Water. Randy Scott, you have the floor.
Okay. Not too much to report. From a precipitation standpoint, the water year starts October 1st as far as the Department of Water Resources. Looking at the 3 charts for the northern and central California and so on, we're probably about half of last year's daily precipitation average at this point in time. So it's not too good. Basically, the late December storms are saying we're not enough to offset California's dry fall. So the Department of Water Resources, their initial allocation, and that goes to the state water contractors, including AVEC and so on, is 10% of their normal allocation. Although usually it's hard to estimate, but you get 20%. Most of the customers are satisfied between the water they get from AVEC and then also the groundwater. If you look at the reservoirs, they're kind of all over the place as far as capacities. The San Luis Reservoir, which is where we get most of the water that comes out of the aqueduct that goes out to AVEC and also Palmdale and Little Rock, and that reservoir is at 49% of capacity, but it's about 66% of the historical average. So some of the other reservoirs are as high as even 100% of historical average, and 60 to 70%. Some of them are lower than that. We're not critical or anything like that yet, but we'll see. Keep our fingers crossed. I haven't found a prediction, reliable one lately for what the future is for from a snowpack standpoint, mostly in Northern California, where we do get a lot of water out of that. Right now, it's at about 42% of the normal for this date. So it's not great, but it's not real bad. But we hope we get some more snow in the future too. And that's about all I've got for today.
Alrighty, Randy. Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions for Randy?
Randy, do you think the AVEC folks would be amenable if 2 or 3 of us wanted to get together and tour it's up on the hill here? Are they open to showing folks through and explaining what this plant does and doesn't do?
I haven't talked to them lately about anything like that. We could always ask them and so on. I don't know with all the COVID things at the moment, if there's any restriction on doing that, or how many people they could get at one time or any of those kinds of things. I know there's never been any reluctance on their standpoint to do like tours and explanations. I mean, they're always happy to do it, but like I say, I don't know what, given the current COVID situation, what if any they'd be able to do that or not.
Well, if you could ask.
Sure.
Built a new fire station, and I'm not exactly sure where that went in. You know where that was supposed to go, Randy?
They are doing drainage out there. I see them working out there like maybe 3 days a week. They're doing like drainage for water.
Okay.
Maybe laying pipes. But there are people out there moving over that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the fire station, does.
It's supposed to be a great new place, but I'm not sure where they put it.
Yeah, I don't know in the details. I know they're making major improvements and everything, but I don't know, unfortunately, any of the details.
Yeah, this whole COVID thing restricts our ability to visit. So.
Yeah, I do know they're talking, and I forgot the date in front of me, but the LA County Air Show, I guess roughly in October of this year, and then the Edwards one would be in 2022.
So the LA County Air Show was in March. Are they thinking about moving the dates on that?
Well, I shouldn't. Yeah, I just don't have that in front of me. But last I knew, that's when they were combining them and coming up with dates. I thought they were moving them all to October, but I can find out next week.
That's not the case.
The reason they went with the date that they did initially was based on that guy that was the consultant that also does the Oshkosh Air Show, and he was saying that if we did it early in March, which is when it had been slated here for several years, then the likelihood of getting one of the precision teams, whether it's the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels, was extremely high because we were the first show in the air show season. Moving it to October, I can understand them alternating 1 year with them, 1 year the base.
Right.
That would make sense, but I think the likelihood of getting a precision team goes down markedly if they do that. But I haven't heard anything. I'll check with Dana Gazelle on that too.
As a member of the LA County Air Show volunteers, the LA Air Show will remain in March. Edwards will always celebrate in October due to the sonic barrier breaking anniversary.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for that update.
Okay. We have no guest speaker tonight. As I mentioned earlier, I was looking for something from RCSD, but that didn't happen. So, anyway, any community announcements? Anything from you, John?
I'd like to add that the Rosemond AVIC plant now is named the Keith Dias plant, and Keith Dias has recently been elected as the president of AVIC. So if you want to go, Dennis, talk to Keith. I'm sure he can get you in.
Yeah, he's just up the street here.
Right.
Yeah, I know exactly where he lives. He was very close to Bill.
Yeah.
Bill is up there near the intersection of walk and don't walk.
Yeah. But they put some big signs up that say Keith Dias processing plant, so he'd be the one to see.
All right, well, I'll go knock on his door.
Yeah, that'd work. And
normally that's known as a memorialization, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone with community announcements? Yes, Randy.
I just found my notes just to give you a heads up from a recent STEM network meeting where we had representatives from Edwards, and they were saying, and again, this is just not gospel, but pay attention to. They were saying it's the 2021 LA County Air Show is going to be October 14th to 16th, or 23 to 24, and 2021, and the Edwards would then be October 14th, roughly 2022. So I guess it's more to just keep your ears and eyes out and whatever. But they were talking October 2021, LA County.
Okay, thanks for that. I'll look into that as well. I had not heard that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, moving on to public comment period. Does anyone have anything to present? Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and move to the business meetings. First item is Disaster Preparedness Committee for Earthquake, Fire, and Civil Unrest. Brennan, do you have anything to share with us?
I currently do not. I received the email from Greg Washington back in October timeframe, and I responded to it so I could be a part of his meeting, and he has not responded to me. So I don't know what's going on there. If they cancel those meetings until we're done with this pandemic. I know Dennis and Donna were working on a couple of different avenues to see if we can coordinate with others, other committees or active groups in the area to see if there's any gaps we can fill in. But we have not reconvened as a committee yet. So I'll let Dennis and Donna speak freely if they have any new information.
Okay, one thing that I do know, Brendan, is I think Greg Washington is no longer on RCSD. I don't think he's on that. If I'm wrong, please be corrected with that.
You know, if that's the case, that could impact his ability to call a meeting.
Yeah.
I would have expected an email response though saying I'm not part of that, but I understand.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else for Brendan? Okay. With that, next item is the Committee for Rosamond Municipal Advisory Council 15th anniversary, which is March 7, 2021. We've had some conversations about that with Laura, and Lisa and I have talked about a few things. We have to get something definitely gelled on that before the middle of February because we're getting very close to the deadline.
Hey, Bill?
Yes.
Dennis, is there any truth to the rumor that you were actually considering bestowing knighthood on the founding chairman?
Not knighthood, no. But we will buy you a snorkel for your tour at ABEX. Okay.
Hey, Mike.
Okay. Moving right along. Committee on the Adjustment of Rmac Boundaries. I've been working on that quite a bit, guys, and I hope to have a chart for you guys that will show all the different boundary lines, what is being counted where for whatever particular function of that organization is. When you look at the map and you see zip code 93560, that's not only Rosamond. And that's one thing that has definitely been determined. It covers a lot of little smaller communities and stuff like that. It appears that the quote city limits for Rmac is the base on the east side, Dawn Road on the north side, 90th Street West on the west side, and then Avenue A on the south side. And then we have, by virtue of something that happened in 2013, those boundaries expanded out to 170th Street West as far as area of influence, but it appears that they do not get to vote on anything associated with Rosamond. So people running for RMAC would not be expecting to get votes in that area at this time. Hopefully, though, we can work this somehow. I'd like to see us be able to make our population grow here, because I certainly think we have more than 20,000 people in the greater Rosamond area. And a lot of the money that's allocated by the county is based on population. So that's the project. And hopefully that map, I'll have it finished for next month's meeting. And I'll have to figure out how to put it up here to show you guys. So. Okay. Old business, nothing new on the office. As you know, Hummel Hall remains secured because of the pandemic. RMAC goals and project status. The only change I have on that, Laura talked about this a little bit in the November meeting. The crosswalk on Rosamond Boulevard at Eagle Way, they've already put in the curb at the turn median there on the eastbound side of Rosamond Boulevard. And the crosswalk, as I understand it, is part of the responsibility of the contractor that's working on the new shopping center there that has a Starbucks and the O'Reilly's Auto Parts and stuff. So maybe that means we'll see something definitive before this coming September. Okay. moving to new business. Item A, B52 market. I was expecting Hale Hawatney, who is the owner of the B52 market, to be here tonight with us. He's a little under the weather, so he may have decided not to come. But I did talk with him a little bit about it. He told me that he's looking forward to doing something there on the street corner, but he didn't really share a whole lot with me. So I was hoping that he would be here tonight so that we could ask him a few questions. As I had mentioned in an email to a couple of you, I'm not looking to beat the guy up. I just want to know that he has a genuine intent to do something there. I've lived in Rosamond almost 30 years, and I'm sure Dennis is probably pretty close to that as well, maybe even longer. And I just don't like seeing that corner looking like an eyesore. And I just would like to see something.
Now, this is the corner of the gas station, is correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So, I'd like to see something done, even if all it is to take and figure out a way of refencing it so that the little Thai restaurant next door could have a little bit more parking space. That would be a nice gesture, I think, on their part. But we'll see what happens. Maybe he can join us next month. Okay. 12B, Rosamond Mojave Rehabilitation Project. I do not have an update on that. I've driven around there a little bit. I haven't seen a whole lot going on. Has anyone else seen anything?
This is on Highway 14, correct?
That's correct.
You know what, Bill? I think Caltrans District 9 puts an update out on their Facebook page. I'll see if I can get a hold of that flyer or information and forward it to you.
Okay, well, we have the tagline for that, map.dot.ca.gov. I didn't have a chance to get there and take a look at it to see what they have. So.
Okay. If you need any.
So they're out there about once a week.
Yeah.
When I drove on it recently, it looked like they had 2 crossovers completed through the median, where they moved the traffic from one side of the freeway to 2-way direction on the other side of the freeway. They've got 2 of those sets of crossovers completed, but they're not using them, of course, yet or anything like that. But I think that's one of their first steps.
That's for bridge retrofit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
it's on the freeway.
Yeah.
But there's 2 crossovers.
Crossovers so they can work on half the bridge at a time.
It's not by the bridge, but I just assume that's what it's crossovers to work on parts of the freeway when they get ready to activate them. They've got barriers along the way.
The initial phase of that is supposed to be fixing the shoulders on the 14th.
They did the Silver Queen. Silver Queen they're reviewing right now.
Okay.
They're out there about once or twice a week. I've seen them. I go that way almost every day.
Okay, moving on. Item 12C, Brown Act ethics training. I'm going to be working on getting us all through that. Hopefully we can do that virtually so we don't have to make the trip to Bakersfield. This is especially important for you, Tim, because you're new on the board. You haven't been through any of that. So it's very important that we get you in that as soon as we can.
Okay. That's at AB 1234, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe our Kern County Council person can help.
Yeah, I've talked to Stephanie a little bit about it.
Yeah, Stephanie, isn't that AB 1234? Is that what they call it? For the ethics training?
I think that's the correct assembly bill, yeah.
It's excellent training, by the way. The one that I've taken several times. As every time I go through it, I'm reminded of, it's great to go through it.
Well, it's good refresher training. The county has us go through it, I think, basically every 2 years. And so I know all of us are due to go through it again.
Does every 2 years sound right to you, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think that's right. For some employees, it's been switched to 1 year, but I think that's supervisory only. So I think it is every 2 years. But I'll confer with Bill and make sure that we have that all on track.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Item 13, Director's Agenda Referrals. Does anyone have anything to go to the agenda for next week? I mean, next month.
We should probably revisit the that access road down, is it 10th Street?
10th Street.
10th Street and United, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to put that back on the agenda so we remind us to.
I wasn't able to be on there with the sheriff lieutenant, but I think we need to revisit why we still have pot shops open and active in Rosamond. In fact, changing their name and opening for business.
We did touch on that, Donna, as a matter of fact, with Lieutenant.
Yes, that's why I said I wasn't able to be there, but I think we need to visit that and figure out how we can get them shut down.
Yes, Donna, Lieutenant Kraft plans on being every Rmac meeting from here forward. And I've got some assignments that I'm going to need to follow up on too. So you and I'll touch base.
Okay.
When I was out at Edwards, back to Dennis's topic of I assume you're talking about the second access if Rosamond Boulevard is blocked to Edwards.
Right.
Anyway, I was out there, whatever it was, a month or two ago. I talked to the wing commander, mentioned that to him. We had an opportunity, and they gave me the replacement for David Smith's name. It's a colonel out there, and I apologize, I forget. And in fact, I had written to somebody else out there to get the point of contact information. So I'll rewrite to that person to remind them I need that, and I'll try and get that back to you in the next week or two or something like that, Bill.
So yeah, that'd be great.
I appreciate that, Randy.
Yeah, because they do have someone that basically has replaced David as far as that kind of a point of contact, and so.
Okay, yeah, someone who's taken his place there in the wing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a colonel who I think he's the vice wing commander also, but those kinds of issues, they said that's the one to talk to, and I'll find out the point of contact information.
Okay, yeah. So long as we can hook them up with Zach's office, and get them talking together, because apparently
everyone needs to be involved. Obviously,
talking with Dave from before, there was money available, but they had to go at it together.
I can at least find out the point of contact information for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any directors have any comments?
Well, the one thing that comes to my mind is it is discouraging given all these restrictions, but at least we have this way to meet, and from where we left off and do all we can to help make Rosamond a better place to live and work.
Mm-hmm. Donna, do you have anything?
No.
Lisa?
Welcome aboard, Tim, and welcome back, Dennis and Donna. Glad you guys are back with us another 4 years. Or at least with me for 2.
Okay. And do you have anything, Stephanie, you want to share with us?
No, I think we're good to go.
Okay. Alrighty. Looks like we're at the end of the meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
So
Make a
moved.
motion to adjourn.
Okay. Anyone second?
Okay.
Who moved it? I'll second it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned as of 7:59 p.m.
Bye, everybody. Hold on, I'm still on.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.